You see me in my gym clothes, right? Let me tell you what just happened. I told you all that the Lord disrupted my Thanksgiving and my Christmas plans and told me to be in Melbourne. He said, buy a one-way ticket and I'll let you know when you can leave. So here I am. When I was asking the Lord, where do you want me to stay, God? I was here last November and this past January of 2024 in Melbourne doing ministry. And both times I stayed in the suburbs. So I was asking the Lord, where do you want me to stay this time? And the Lord told me, city center, I want you to be accessible. Now, I didn't know what that meant, but I know that he said stay in city center. So I started looking for Airbnbs, filtering them based on who had a gym. I've also talked to you about how the Lord has spoken to me about working out. It's also very important to me. I'm so thankful for my dad. Even as a young kid, we knew how to do proper sets and reps, understanding all the things of working out, because he always said to us, make sure you take care of your body. You only have one. So as an adult, working out is very important. And when I'm at home, I'm working out 4 or 5 times a week. So when I travel, I try to keep that going, though it can be very difficult. So I filtered the Airbnbs based on who had a gym. When I got here, I tried to access the gym and they wouldn't let me in. So I reached out to the owner and I said, hey, I couldn't access the gym. Can you tell me what's going on there? And he said, well, we took that off of our ad a long time ago because building management didn't like that we had an Airbnb and guests were going in. So they told us we couldn't give them access anymore. And I thought, that is so strange, because I know that I saw pictures of a gym, but I thought maybe I messed up because I looked at so many different locations. So I was like, man, okay. But I had only planned to stay in this location for 2 weeks because I wanted to make sure that God wanted me in this location. He says city center, but I still wanted to know the precise location. So I like this location because right outside there's a tram station across the street. 7-Eleven is across the street. A grocery store is in a block of walking distance. Everything is right downstairs, nice restaurants and everything. And I thought, I really like this location. It's accessible to everything, just like the Lord told me to be. But I can't stay here if I'm not able to access the gym. So I picked up my phone this morning to reach out to the owner and ask him if he would talk to building management to see if they could make an exception this time. Then I set my phone back down and I said, well, Lord, I don't really know if this is where you want me to stay. Because I also thought about going north of the city so I could be closer to the people that I know that stay in the suburbs. And I thought I can still be city center, but just further north. So I said, Lord, I don't really know if this is where you want me to be for whatever the assignment is here. So I'll just wait a few more days before I reach out to him, because maybe God is going to tell me to move. So I said, Lord, can you let me know where you really want me to be? You know I want a gym. Within an hour of having this conversation with God, the owner of this Airbnb reaches out and says, Angel, I had a long conversation with building management this morning, and they said that they will give you access to the gym. So can you go and see if your fob now works? God. But God, okay? This is why walking with the Lord is such an adventure. This is why I have a heart of obedience. And I say to people all the time, you don't even need a brain when you're walking with the Lord, because God will lay out all the breadcrumbs. You only need a heart of obedience. And it's such an amazing adventure. You know, I've had people and voices in my life that would try to say, Angel, you're always saying God told you this and God told you that, trying to criticize and chastise me. But you know what? When you live a life like me, you better know that God is saying these things to you. You better be able to hear God's voice. And the beautiful thing is that that's exactly the way God wants us to live. Yes, you will miss it sometimes. Yes, I miss it sometimes. I'll miss it again in the future. But I will never let the fear of missing what God is saying or misunderstanding what God is saying, I will never let that override my desire to be obedient and the fearlessness that I demand to walk into so I can do what God has called me to do. For me, it's all about chasing purpose. Why am I even going to live if I'm not going to do what I was put on earth to do? That is my greatest heart's desire, God. Am I fulfilling what you're calling me to do? And always remember, I have an audience of one. There's only one person that I aim to please, and only one person that I get my affirmation from. And as I live my life day to day, I always remind myself, for the King, it will all be worth it.